Donald McKinney, Donald R. McKinney. As I always start off my videos, if you want to find my books, look for them on Amazon.com. The first one being How to Be Happy in 99% of Your Relationships. Just something funny to read, nice stocking stuffer for the holidays if you just want to give somebody a laugh or two. As well, How to Be Happy in 99% of Your Relationships. Same title, just different avenue. First one, 99. How to be 99% happy in life, and the other one, how to be 99% happy in any relationship. Once again, it's just my take on life and its different avenues, just something to laugh at. And also, last but not least, God Bless America. It's a political thriller. Once again, just a good read. It does have some similarities to what's going on in our current administration. Some similarities that may surprise you. So check them out on Amazon.com. That's under Donald R. McKinney. That's McKenney. Now, I've been doing a series called Diary of a Sex Addict, and this is part 4. I won't go into part 1, part 2, and part 3. They speak for themselves. So I'll just get to the meat and potatoes of the thing. I spoke to my friend, and the reason I'm looking down is because I actually wrote a few notes this particular time, because he told me about one strange fetish that he had. I thought it was pretty interesting, and quite honestly, once again, some of these things you may have experienced yourself, but this is coming from somebody who considered himself something of a sex addict. And so this is part 4 of that continuation. You can find the rest of them on YouTube if you're interested in hearing part 1, part 2, and part 3. So anyway, the fetish that he had was and I'm just going to, say it, he liked to climax or come, as some might put it, on women's particulars. Various areas on their body. One particular area he liked to climax on was women's faces, on their chest, on their bottoms, backsides, their legs, sometimes their navels. And I asked him about that. Why was that something of a fetish for him? And he said he was not sure why. He said it started at some particular point in time when he was dating a particular woman, and she asked him through her own issuance, I guess you would say, for him to climax on her face. And after coming on her face, he decided that that was something that gave him a big thrill. And so he decided to share that thrill with other women. He said he had several women, particularly, that he liked to climax in their mouths. Now, some of you may have not the stomach for that, so if you don't, I will understand. But for those of you who don't see it as that odd, I don't know. One girl, he told me particularly, she would like to swallow his cum, because in her words, and this is his words as told to me, she told him that she thought it was a shame to waste any of it. Just, once again, his words, not mine. I'm just, don't kill the messenger. So that's what he said. He said this one particular girl was the only person to ever thrill him in a particular way. I'll save that story for another time. But anyway, he had another girl. He said that this girl, she just had the most beautiful face. He said that is why he enjoyed climaxing on it so much. He said some women, he had come in their eye by accident. He'd come up their nose. I mean, he said it would shoot out and would hit him in different places. And he would tend to, he found that quite interesting. So anyway, that's one particular thing. And also, something else he told me I thought was odd, and that was he had a number of one night stands. He said, he would meet a lot of women and he slept with them the same night. I asked him how. He said even he didn't really know how. He didn't have a particular approach. He just would meet them, and the conversations ranged from how you feeling to what are you doing when you leave. Obviously, this was a different time, people probably a little more cautious now than they were back then. So, and one interesting scenario he told me about was he met a girl, and he said he went home with her and they had sex, and afterwards he said he could not remember her name. And he said what he did was he found out her name by looking at some of her personal identification. The interesting thing he said was that this particular girl told him that that was not a name that she used. So, you know, I don't think she inquired anymore. I guess just the fact that he said her name was enough. But he said this had happened on several occasions, and I thought that odd that you would have sex with so many women that you started to forget their names. And he said that was just a thing. It wasn't personal. A lot of times he said he was more focused on making sure that the act of the sex that they were having was good. So I could understand that. I remember myself, someone, a cab driver, quite honestly, told me a little trick to remedy that. I won't share it with you out there because it's my trick, and quite honestly, some men may know it, some men may not, but it's something I'm going to keep to myself. But anyway, a cab driver once told me how to remedy forgetting women's names, and so I thank him for that. That is the end of Diary of a Sex Addict Part 4. I hope you enjoyed this story. Once again, you may have had similar situations like this. I thought his was pretty interesting. He'd been telling me many of these stories for years. So I thought sharing them with you all would make for an interesting conversation when you're with friends or out, or, just, what others do and how similar probably that many of our lives are to his. It's just that he realized that he was a sex addict. Anyway, once again, don't forget to look my books up on Amazon. Download R. McKinney. That's McKenney. Thank you. Take care.